Hello, and welcome to this post-production diary 2 weeks before the release of King Kong. And I thought that this week, since there's a lot going on, it's actually, ironically, a good chance just to sit down and to answer some more of your questions. I'm in a question-answering mood because it's the week of our press junket in New York before the premiere of the film. So the first one's from Ryan, and the question is, what have been the biggest challenges you've encountered so far in the making of the film? That's an interesting question. I think the thing that surprised us all was the length of the film. I mean, the film is what it is. I'm very proud of it. Obviously, the longer the film is, the more visual effects shots there are, the more music there is needed, the greater the post-production, the more complicated the film. Coming out of Lord of the Rings, I, for some reason, didn't quite expect it to be quite as complex as it did turn out to be. So that has certainly been one of the practical challenges. The artistic challenge, if you like, has been the creation of King Kong himself, bringing a completely digital gorilla to life in a way that you just relate and buy into his character. And obviously all of you are going to be able to judge for yourselves whether or not we've succeeded, but it has been a real tough job to do. Deborah has sent in a question. What were the biggest challenges in adapting a 1933 film for a contemporary audience? In a sense, we have confronted it the most direct way by actually setting our movie in 1933. You know, we haven't attempted to update the film, but of course, you know, we are filmmakers in 2005, so obviously the world is a very different place, and the technology is very different to 1933, but there's a lot about the original King Kong which I love because it was made in 1933, and it was made as a contemporary film at the time, but we've made our film as a period movie, but I really wanted to embrace that 1933 time period. And Chris has sent in a question. How has this movie differed from the other movies you've done? The interesting thing about this film is that I started to do a remake of King Kong when I was 12 on Super 8. Didn't get much of it done back then, but I've always had this ambition, this desire to want to make this film. And so from that point of view, I felt more than any other film I've ever made, I felt that this was something I'd been waiting for years and years and years to do. So that has been a very significant part of the process for me. The next question is from Pastor Mike. What is the secret to making films in which most people know the basic plot and the ending even before seeing them? Now, that is a very interesting question. You just got to make it a cool movie. I think to some degree it's a classic fable, and I think the fact that people know the ending in a way is almost a strength of the film, because there's a certain power to it as you're watching it, knowing where it's actually heading. And also, I would hope that there's going to be a significant amount of kids, young people coming to the film that won't actually know the ending. And this will be their first introduction to this amazing story. And the last question is from Kevin. How do you feel now that the movie that you've always wanted to make is about to be released? I feel exhausted, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what people's response to the film is. There's this weird, surreal period of 2 or 3 weeks where the film goes away. It's like a child leaving home, or, you know, some period of transition. And it's strange because people see it for the first time, and you get feedback. You get people telling you what they think about the movie. And it's a very nerve-wracking time, but it's also very satisfying. And it also defines a period in your life, because there's been a big chunk of working on the film that now is finished, and we're moving on to something else. In a funny way, it's the point of making a film, to get to the stage that you have it for people to enjoy. Really looking forward to seeing you all next week, and we're going to give you a very exclusive inside look at what happens to the filmmakers as they go through the process of the final press and premiere. Look forward to seeing you.